the big popular pickup this past week was Troy Franklin. And I get it to some degree. First of all, the first couple of weeks of the football season, rare is it that you're ever getting good value on the waiver wire. That's more during the bye weeks and mid-season when people have to make drops that they don't want to make because of those bye weeks and maybe because they have a couple injured guys on top of it and you get roster constraints. So you will still go pick up Troy Franklin. What I would say here is I caution people on this. Outside of Cortland Sutton, nobody has a set role in that offense. It could be Marvin Mims next week. Pat Bryant could get worked in. Sean Payton is just a menace when it comes to fantasy football, whether it's the running back, the backfield, everyone's waiting on RJ Harvey. That hasn't happened, and he seems to be losing more work. Again, the J.K. Dobbins was barely involved last week. Or what happens outside the number one target in the receiving game. What I'm saying is that you basically can't predict it. I'm okay if you picked up Troy Franklin. I wouldn't be shocked if you wanted turning around and dropping him next week because somebody else got involved, though. Last but certainly not least, because this was my number one tight end coming into the week, Tucker Kraft had a knee issue in Thursday's practice.
Yeah.
Were you able to find out anything? Because they were still scrambling to see what the severity was.
Yeah, well, multiple reports have said that the team has evaluated him. I think he's scheduled to undergo some more testing tomorrow, Friday, but that they're saying it doesn't appear to be anything long-term. So I guess you can take that for what you want. That doesn't tell me much because long-term means long-term, but it doesn't mean not short-term either. So it could be that a week or two, if it's a mild little sprain. Hopefully it's nothing serious. We'll definitely have more as we get closer to the weekend here, as we get closer to game time. It doesn't sound good in the sense that it was significant enough that he had to come out of practice. He was being evaluated on the sideline, brought into the locker room, and multiple reports I've read have said that he will undergo more tests. So that usually means some type of more advanced imaging, like an MRI. What that shows will then kind of dictate what he does or does not do going forward, and whether or not he's down for multiple weeks or just a few days. So couldn't come at a worse time. Thursday's not when you want to be getting hurt again, because Fridays usually are just a simple walkthrough, a lot of film, a lot of preparation for game day. It's not usually too strenuous, so you're not going to really have a chance to test it out per se until game day. So if they do get a scan and it doesn't show any major structural injuries, then it's really going to be a matter of how comfortable he feels on game day. And again, that's going to take it down to the wire. So he'll probably at the very least have a questionable tag unless that MRI comes back and shows something significantly wrong that they need to address.
Jaden Reed out 6 to 8 weeks, and now Tucker Kraft getting hurt in practice. Maybe he won't be out for multiple weeks, even if he does miss Sunday, but not what you wanted to see. If you're going to ask me, okay, well, they're dropping like flies. Who's next up in that Packers offense? I don't know. Good luck to you. I know I'm supposed to give you better advice to that, but it's been such a roulette wheel anyway. In all seriousness, here's my actual advice. And I said it yesterday's show. Romeo Doubs is established in his role, so you can play him. He's a low-end wide receiver 3, high-end wide receiver 4 with maybe an uptick in targets between Jaden Reed and if Tucker Kraft were to miss this week. But we know he kind of has a ceiling limit. Davian Wicks looks like the second best wide receiver to me on that team right now. Now, without Jaden Reed, maybe Matthew Golden fits more of that role, and so he gets kind of more designed touches, and he has played a little bit more than Davian Wicks, but he does not look like the better wide receiver. Wicks looks like he's better to me than he was a season ago, and he looks better than Golden now. I do think Wicks will take on the bigger role, and if you want to take a shot in DFS, which is what I'm doing, I'm taking a shot on Dontavian Wicks at $3,700. Maybe throw on your bench, see what happens. But we've been trying to wait and see what happens with the Packers offense ever since Matt LaFleur took over. So who knows? I'm not going to put it out there and put a stamp on any one guy. With that, it's going to wrap up the show, though. Brian, I want to thank you so much for coming on. As always, tell people where they need to check you out and where to follow you.